Hey guys, this is Sathvik, first year medical student at Bond Uni. So today we're in the atrium. This is where you can chill and study and do everything. So today we're going to be looking at MMI Advice, or interview advice. We're going to go through interview advice, so we're going to be giving advice what we would have wanted to know if we were in your shoes trying to get into medicine, whether it be your postgrad or undergrad applicant, doesn't matter. So I'm going to be talking to quite a few people over the next few days and compiling it all together. So today we have our first guest on the channel.
So hey guys, my name is Z-Chain. I'm Sathvik's classmate and a first year medical student as well. So I just came out of grade 12 just last year and I'm studying medicine. So there's a general couple of tips I will give you for completing your interviews. And the first one is, before you do actually do your interviews, it's a good idea to watch some doctor YouTubers online. So your Dr. Cellini, Dr. Mike, and other doctors to get some insights into the medical field. And I think this is really gonna help you when you're doing your interviews, when they throw you questions that's medically scenario related. And by having a good knowledge in hand, and you can just throw in these when you're answering your questions. And another good interview tip I will also give you guys is that practice verbalizing your questions. So a lot of people go into interviews thinking, oh, I know the answers, I know what I'm gonna say, and don't practice it. And they just actually flunk the interview because they always have a mixed thought when answering questions in the interview. And it's definitely, you definitely don't want to do this, and it's definitely a good idea to practice with your friend, yourself, and your family members.
And make sure you're doing multiple stations if you're doing MMI. I know when I did it with a bunch of mates on Zoom, and we used to do it every morning at a specific time, and we'd make breakout rooms and then go into the breakout rooms and practice ourselves. And yeah, it's one of the most important tips you can get. So yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Sonakshi. I'm first year, so I'm with Sathvik. The advice I would give for MMI interviews is make sure you've thought of real life scenarios. So it's really important to be able to talk about the skills you have. So you know, whether that's teamwork, collaboration, leadership, but it's also really important to be able to tie those skills into something you've actually done. So say, you've been in sports teams, you can bring that in. You can be like, I've played netball and I've had to show teamwork and I've had to show collaboration in that. It's also really good to be able to put multiple skills within the single examples. So if you want, you can talk about how you've done resolving conflict, so all of that in examples.
And they can come into any kind of question that they might ask you, so it doesn't have to be a set station when you bring all these examples of absolutely anywhere.
Just actually talking through questions. So it's good to think of your answer, but actually talking, maybe talk in front of a mirror, grab a friend, talk to them, and practice being in that interview situation, because that'll be really helpful when the interview comes around.
Hey, I'm Rohan. I'm a first year medical student at Bond, and I'm in Sathvik's class. And I just want to give some interview tips for MMIs. So firstly, it's important to treat it like more of a conversation, and you're not just rattling off your memorized answers in the actual interview. And you can make sure that the conversation flows and you read off any signals that the interview gives you. And secondly, I'd say it's also important, especially for MMIs, not to carry on the burden from your previous stations to the next. So if something did go wrong, it's important to just move on and bury that away and just have this new phase for the next interview. That's about it.
Hi everyone, my name is Hajar. I'm a first year medical student at Bond. Advice I would give, there's a lot of resources out there for med school in terms of trying to get you prepared for what you need to wear, how you need to act, what you need to say. But I would suggest save your money and don't really go out there splurging and all. I know it's really tempting at the med school because getting into med school is it's kind of worth it if you get in. But there's a lot of free stuff out there. There's YouTube videos, there's forums and stuff that past med students post about as well. I know for New Zealand and Australia there's Med Students Online. That's really useful for trying to find out what to say, what kind of questions you're going to be asked, depending on what uni you're applying to. Another thing I would say is research what values your uni will be testing you on. So I know some unis focus more on rural applicants, so if you're from a rural place or if you volunteered in a rural place, that really matters to them. Or some unis also really care about putting you in hypothetical situations and seeing your problem solving skills. So I would say just find out what kind of questions you're going to be asked. The questions, they change year to year, but the underlying values, the underlying themes,
skills, and everything like that, they'll be the same.
Yeah.
So they'll have a checklist and they'll be checking that you can demonstrate this skill to a certain competency. So they'll be constant across all unis basically around the world. But you just want to focus on the skills and develop those. And that's what she's talking about. Also, she's from Auckland as well. So,
yeah. But some skills that are pretty much consistent no matter what uni you're going to go to is communication, teamwork, and empathy for sure. So definitely look back on what situations you've been in that have demonstrated those skills and kind of use them.
Yeah, and make sure you can talk about them in depth in whatever context that they might throw at you. It can seem like something like teamwork doesn't really seem that relevant to a particular question, but it will somehow be tied in. So wherever you can use those examples and skills that you've developed, if you can use those, then that will really set you apart from the rest of your crowd that you're competing with. But yeah.
Hey guys, my name's Andy. I'm also a first year medical student at Bond as well, so one of Sathvik's classmates. In terms of the number one tip I'd say for any medicine application, I'd say try to stay organised, but at the same time try to have a balance in your life. So whether you're a Year 12 student, whether you're an undergrad applicant, or whether you're a postgrad applicant, there's going to be lots of different factors which you're going to need to balance throughout the year. So ATAR, GPA, UCAT, GAPSAT, interview prep, and just the overall stressful environment. So what I was going to say that is try to balance all of these different components every week. So set some time aside for your ATAR or GPA. Set some time aside for GAPSAT prep. And also going back to what Sathvik said, try and also have a social life as well. So make sure to catch up with friends every now and then. I think it's also really helpful as well if you've got a small group of friends who also applying for medicine as well. That way, you guys are all in the same mindset. You guys are able to help each other out with all the different factors. And yeah, just try and have fun with everything. And good luck to you guys.
I feel like you also have to keep in mind that there's a lot of applicants that are vying for the same position that you want to be in. So it's important to set yourself apart in any way that you can. So if you're postgrad, that might be talking about any sort of research you've done, any sort of things you've learned in uni that a high schooler can't say they've learned. Or if you're a high schooler, something that you've done that other school leaver applicants can't say they have. So I know it's hard for those kind of experiences to come by, but any sort of experiences that have made you more resilient, made you kind of stand out from the crowd, use those. So everyone's going to be saying that they were school captain, they were this, they were that, but talk about something that others might not have gone through.
Something that you genuinely learned when you went through an experience. It doesn't have to be a big thing, because the interviewers don't really care about what the event is. They only care about what kind of change it impacted you. So how were you before the event, how were you during the event, and how were you after the event. So they only care about the characteristic change that you have. And that's what actually sets you apart from everyone else. So everyone can have the same event happening to them, but people will take away different things from that event, depending on their background, whatever their mindset is, and things like that. That is a very, very important tip. The reason why the people who get in, they do better than others is because of those little things. They use those things to set themselves apart from the rest of the crowd. And that is a very fine line that you need to basically cross to become a medical student.
Also, just be kind. When you walk into the room, shake the interviewer's hand, ask them how the day's been. they've been interviewing so many people. You know, those kind of things go a long way because, you know, they're kind of looking for someone who might be a future colleague kind of thing. And also it can be quite disheartening when interview results come out. So rejection is normal. Rejection is, you know, it sets you up for bigger things in life, I feel like. So, you know, I've been through this 5 times myself. This was my 5th time applying and I got in. So it's normal. It's it kind of helps you in the bigger scheme of things. So yeah.
And you're not alone when you're reapplying. I know someone who did it 4 times and she got in the 4th time. So you're definitely not alone. And I would say if you really are dead set on medicine, a rejection from one medical school will not let you deter away from the career path. And that's exactly, we have a real life example right here. So yeah, if you feel like medicine is the right fit for you, just stay at it. Every time you apply, you'll gain a new insight, something that you feel like you'll have an edge over. Also, make sure to talk to different people, us if you like,
Yeah.
and gain insights into whatever you can. That will give you an edge.